Well, we are back with another late night Chiefs update per Adam Schefter. The Chiefs are finalizing a trade for L'Jarius Sneed, and it is surprising what they're getting out of him. In fact, I almost feel like the Chiefs are getting fleeced in this trade, but they really need the cap space, and that is one of the main reasons why I believe they're going for this trade. So let's talk about it, but first, how about the Chiefs? I literally just got off the live stream for tonight, went upstairs. Thank God one of my mods, Darth Bane, texted me and said, yo, there's Chiefs news. It's Sneed. He's getting traded. So pulled up Twitter, looked at what Adam Schefter tweeted, made sure it was the real Adam Schefter, okay, 10.9 million followers. And at first, I read this as the Chiefs are getting a third-round pick for L'Jarius Sneed, and they are, but it's for 2025. Listen to this. The Chiefs are finalizing a deal to send franchise cornerback L'Jarius Sneed to the Titans per league sources. Chiefs are expected to receive a 2025, not 2024, not this year, next year, 2025 third-round pick in addition to a 2024 seventh-round pick flop, while Sneed will sign a new contract. Trade is pending. Physical for Sneed. Once Sneed passes that physical, the trade is finalized. L'Jarius Sneed is going to be a Tennessee Titan. That face right there that they used on L'Jarius Sneed was my face when I read this. I am happy for Sneed. Constant just said in chat he got his bag. And that is the next thing I want to kind of brag about and just be proud of L'Jarius Sneed. Nick Wright said L'Jarius Sneed was arguably the second most impactful down-to-down defender on the best defense in the NFL, made the single biggest swing play of the playoffs. That was punching out the football on Zay Flowers before he crossed to the end zone in the AFC Championship game, helped them win back-to-back Super Bowls. He now gets $80+ million. Happy for him and forever a Chiefs legend. So I do want to say that. I do want to say I am happy for Sneed. His story is insane. He grew up being raised by his older brother and his grandma because both of his parents were in prison. L'Jarius Sneed has an insane story, an insane upbringing. The brother that helped raise him died a couple years ago due to violence. Sneed's story is insane. I am so happy for Sneed. He's getting generational wealth secured for generations. Sneed wanted to stay a Chief, guys. He wanted to stay a Kansas City Chief. He made that clear. He wanted them to pay him. The problem is you can't pay everybody. So when the Chiefs franchise tagged L'Jarius Sneed with the intent for him to seek a trade, that was going to be the most likely outcome. The Titans were rumored or reported, not even rumored, they were reported to be one of the finalists on a trade for Sneed last week. The contract was the hang-up. They instead signed Calvin Ridley to a 4-year, $90+ million deal. So then we're like, well, the Titans could still be in the running, but it might be the Colts. Well, he's getting traded to the Titans, guys. And I'm a little confused by the trade compensation, but here's the problem. You're only worth what the market dictates you are worth. And the Kansas City Chiefs wanted a second-round pick for Sneed, did not get it. I thought he would get a 2024 third. He gets a 2025 third, and then they swap seventh-round picks. I would assume the Chiefs are picking a little bit earlier in the seventh, maybe this year instead. I'm not sure exactly what seventh-round pick this is. Either way, the big one is 2025 third instead of a 2024 third. Here's a big reason for that, guys. The Chiefs needed cap space, and they needed it bad. Okay? When you have Sneed franchise tagged and he's taking up $19.8 million, you need running backs, maybe plural. CEH and Jerick McKinnon are free agents. You need a left tackle. I don't know if that's Donovan Smith. I don't know who it is. You need interior O-line depth, just like Ron Kopp Jr. is saying here. You have Nick Allegretti gone. You've got Prince Tega Wanogho, your swing tackle, still a free agent. You need defensive end. You have no Mike Dana. You have no Charles Omenihu for the first half of the season. And then you might need a cornerback, which I don't know you're going to go get one in free agency. You might go get one in the draft, but they do free up $19.8 million in cap space. You get a 2025 third-round pick. It's not going to help you this year, really. You swap sevenths, but you free up $20 million in cap space to be able to go make several much-needed moves. It was going to be extremely hard for the Chiefs to keep L'Jarius Sneed on the tag and go get these pieces that they need. They don't have a QB2 either. They had $7 million in cap space, and you need a couple, maybe $2 to $3 million of that for your draft picks. They basically had nothing. They needed to free this up. Now they have closer to $27 million in cap space. Bittersweet. I freaking love L'Jarius Sneed, dude. I think he's a dog. He got better every single year. He put his head down. He grinded. He worked. He didn't complain. He wasn't boisterous. He wasn't annoying. He did his job, and he did it to the best of his ability. Game in and game out. I am surprised about the draft capital. I am a little disappointed. I'm sure you guys are too. The problem is when you want a team to trade for a player that's tagged and sign him to a potentially top of the market deal, you're only going to be able to take what's offered or say, never mind, we're going to keep him on the tag, but you need all these other positions. You need to fill all these other positions that I just mentioned. Running back, left tackle, interior O-line, defensive end, QB2, maybe somewhere else. But you don't have the money. Now you do. So it's bittersweet, but the Chiefs now have money in free agency to get moves done that they need to make. They have a pretty decent secondary as it is. Sneed, it sucks missing Sneed, like he's gone. But you have Trent McDuffie, you have Jalen Watson, you have Joshua Williams, you've got Chamari Connor, Brian Cook, Justin Reed, Nazeeh Johnson. You've got people over there, Nick Jones that they drafted last year in the 7th round. I believe he's a cornerback as well. You've got pieces. You've got Dave Merritt, the best defensive backs coach in the game, who can develop whoever they get. They're very good at getting late round defensive backs in the draft. Sneed was a 4th rounder, for example, and he became elite, basically. I am going to check Twitter and see if there's any other details out here, but there you go. Let's see if there's any other details on the trade in particular. I would be curious to see some of your guys' thoughts. Sneed deserved a contract, and he gets a contract. So that's the biggest thing. L'Jarius Sneed gets a contract. He gets paid. The Chiefs get $20 million in cap space. Matt Derrick said what we're all saying. It's not the compensation the Chiefs wanted, but it's the reality of the market. The market is what the market is, and it sucks. Chiefs couldn't have played him on the tag. I mean, not really. What? The Chiefs would do this while I'm out celebrating a friend's birthday on a Friday night, said Charles Goldman. L'Jarius Sneed and Brian Burns are the 2 franchised players that have been or are set to be traded this offseason. T. Higgins hopes they're not the last. So there you go. The Titans have made a bunch of moves, and then they're trading for L'Jarius Sneed. Bittersweet, guys, but that is it. L'Jarius Sneed is going to be a Tennessee Titan. The Chiefs are going to be without their back-to-back Super Bowl champ. What year was he drafted? 2020? He's not a 3-time, I don't believe, but man, love L'Jarius Sneed. Forever a Chief, forever thankful for what he's done and the culture that he helped, or the environment that he helped cultivate in the DB room. It's not what you wanted. If you're the Chiefs, Glenn with the 2 said, what do we do with all this money now? Yeah, we definitely talked about it, but I appreciate the 2. Tricksters with the 2 said we got nothing. Yeah, didn't get much. I mean, I thought it was going to be a 3rd-round pick, guys. I'm just going to be honest. Thought it was going to be a 2024 3rd-round pick, but it's a 2025. Blind Justice with the 13 months. So much to consider. There will be a compensatory pick. Also be a compensatory pick. KC is keeping many pieces already. They developed DBs. It's all good. Yeah. No, exactly. Not ideal, but this is what it is, man. I don't want to drag this live stream on too much because I just wanted to give you the update as it is. There will be more details that come out about his contract, but he reportedly turned down a 4-year, $80 million deal from the Titans last week. I'm going to assume that it's still somewhere around 4-year, $80 million, but the guarantees might look a little bit better. Remember, L'Jarius Sneed is 27. He's got knee issues. He's going to pass the physical, but he's got a history of knee issues. We know that as Chiefs fans. Jason said, is the defense going to fall after this trade? Nah, because the Chiefs made their decision, guys. They brought back Chris Jones. They were going to bring back Chris Jones or L'Jarius Sneed. They chose Jones. 5 years, $158 million, $95 million guaranteed. They chose Chris Jones. They believe he's the centerpiece, and they can build around him for the future. That's what they did. They brought back Drew Tranquill. They've got Trent McDuffie, a first-round pick that they just went up and got a couple years ago. You know, so the defense is not going to fall apart. It's not going to look the same without Sneed. You can't pay them all, but they chose. They made the choice of Chris Jones over L'Jarius Sneed. Use the tag with the plan to trade him. That they revealed their hand from the beginning, and it was just a matter of time. It's not the trade compensation maybe we were hoping for. I am happy Sneed got his bag. Very happy for that. His story is crazy, like I said. But the Chiefs, while they didn't get the draft capital maybe they were hoping for, they get that $20 million, and they're going to start making some more moves in free agency. They didn't have the money. Now they do, and they're going to go get some guys. Who is it going to be? I'm not sure, but it's going to be some of the positions we talked about earlier in this video. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, guys. Not the biggest or the best update on a Friday night, but we knew the trade was most likely coming. Just thought the draft compensation might be a little better than this. But it is what it is. The Chiefs got served the market. They made the best decision based on the deals they had out there. They probably, again, couldn't afford to keep him on the tag, opted to let him go. And you don't get a whole bunch for him, but you free up that money, and you've got to pay other players too, guys. They're looking at extending Creed, Nick Bolton, maybe Trey Smith. Trent McDuffie is going to get a long-term deal with the Chiefs here soon, more than likely. You can't pay everybody, unfortunately, even though Sneed wanted to stay a Chief. It's just not reality for every single person, even if they're great like Sneed, which is the hardest part. Raphael said, the return seems a bit disappointing, but hey, we keep moving. Maybe we sign a few more people, draft replacement. No, exactly, Raphael. That's about how they're going to have to do. Just keep it moving, man. They couldn't afford to pay him. They got a little bit of draft capital out of him. Remember, if they would have just let him walk in free agency, they would have got nothing. So they swapped 7th-round picks. They get a 3rd for next year, and somebody said they may also get a compensatory pick for him as well. There is ways that cannot happen, depending on if the Chiefs go and make a move here sooner than later in free agency, but I don't think that they will. So, yeah, there's some positives here, but it's a bummer to see, and it's not what some people were expecting. Some were saying, hey, he could still demand a 2nd-round pick, maybe a 1st. You got a 3rd, but for next year, it is what it is. Justin with the 10. Appreciate you, man. Felt the Chiefs' negotiating power was limited once they said they tagged him because they said they couldn't reach a deal. At least the money can be used to extend Creed or Bolton. Yeah, they're gonna use this money wisely, man. They've got other things that they need to pay attention to with extending those players. Maybe even some other moves with contracts of people on the roster right now. Could be maybe an extension here or there. Could be a restructure. But they now have the money where they don't have to do that, and they can go get some pieces. They got to fill in those pieces of need. So there you have it. L'Jarius Sneed, pending a physical, is going to be a Tennessee Titan. Traded to Tennessee, was announced tonight by Adam Schefter, swapping 7th-round picks, and the Chiefs are also getting a 2025 3rd-round pick, freeing up $20 million in cap space to go make more moves. And I'll just let you look at this before I get out of here. Sneed, it's been real, man. Appreciate it all. It's going to be weird seeing him in blue, but appreciate everything he did, man. Appreciate you guys, and if there's any more breaking news, you know that I will be here to let you all know every step of the way. I do want to make sure there was no more updates on Sneed before I get out of here. And this one says, once the trade is executed, Sneed's departure to Tennessee would free up $19.8 million. So no real update. We've already talked about this. So there you guys have it, man. It's a bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. The Chiefs got to move on. They got to use this money to shore up some other positions of need. Then they're going to look ahead to the draft. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about go?